Hello there. Just a few words before the video starts proper. This was an 11-mile walk from Wemyss Bay to Greenock via Leap Moor, Loch Thom and Corlick Hill. In many ways, I wanted to have a look at the view from the top of Corlick Hill because the last time I was there it was misty and I couldn't see anything. And I also wanted to perhaps go a slightly different way. 11 miles is a bit more than I've been doing of late, but I was quite happy that I could manage it. And I did. The video ends on the top of Corlick Hill, and thankfully what you don't see is me flapping about and getting into real difficulties after that. I had planned to take the footpath that heads north just off Corlick Hill down into Greenock, and I don't know what happened, but I lost the path. I mean, initially there was a path and it joined with a kind of really wide track, and then the track just stopped. And when you look at maps, that certainly seems to be the case, and after the wide track it becomes a sort of footpath. I just couldn't see where it was. I was looking about, I went to a high spot and I'm thinking, where the heck is this thing? When I look at maps now, I think I may just have been looking at the wrong side if I'd gone one way or another. And I thought, oh, I've got to go down, I can see Greenock, we're going down, you know, I should be able to manage this. All the while I'm looking out for some sort of path, and occasionally I would come upon something that looked remotely like a path, but didn't seem to last very long. And I just, at one point, I mean, the ground was saturated. We've had a lot of rain recently. The ground was boggy and wet and just horrible. At one point I saw a gate and a deer fence. I thought, okay, that's a good sign, we'll go through there. I went through the gate and there was just no sign at all of any sort of path. It was all just gorse, jaggy, you know, that jaggy gorse plant, brambles and undulating ground that was all over the shop. And I'm thinking, well, and I decided to just kind of wander a little bit here and there in the hope that I might pick up some sort of path of some sort. And the further I went, the more difficult things became, and the more I found myself in real difficulties. I could see houses, and I thought, oh, right, I'll try and make for there. You know, if there's houses, there's going to be a road, etc., etc. And I got close to the houses, and it was a struggle because I'm fighting my way through this gorse and an absolute patchwork of brambles. But there was a huge fence in the way. I couldn't get to the houses. I mean, at this stage I thought, if I can get through this fence, and I was even thinking about starting to pull fences down because it was starting to get dark. I was getting a little bit desperate. I thought, if I end up in somebody's back garden, that's okay. I'm quite happy to chap somebody's back door and say, I'm in a little bit of trouble here. Can I get through your house onto the road? But I couldn't get over or through the fence. At one point I saw a car, and I thought, okay, there's a road there. I mean, any thoughts of going back through all the kind of gorse and brambles that I'd already fought through to get back to that gate were out the window. It was a nightmare getting to where I was. It was going to be a nightmare getting back. I thought, I've got to try and find another way out of here. And I was struggling. I'm thinking, am I going to find a way out of here? And at one point I fell. My foot went down into some deep, boggy thing, almost up to my knees. The camera went with me. Thank God save us. We're in trouble now. And I thought, oh, okay, at this stage I thought, I've got to get over this fence. It was a deer fence. And eventually I kept going one way. I thought, I can't get through here. The brambles are all over the shop. I backtracked and I kept trying to find a way towards this fence, which I eventually did. And I thought, I've got to climb this deer fence. I don't have any other choice there. Thankfully, the wire netting was quite tight, so it wasn't going to collapse under my weight. But at the end of the day, a 68-year-old man shouldn't be climbing deer fences. But I did get over it. I mean, if you know deer fences, they're as tall, if not taller than I am. This was a huge deer fence. My God, the deer must be giants in that area. But I did get over it and went along another fence line. And at one point there was a gap, not a gap, somebody had kind of burrowed their way under or through this fence. I thought, okay, that's maybe a good sign, I'll go there. And there was the vaguest hint of a path, vaguest hint. And I was at the back of these houses. I thought, I've got to go for this. And as if by magic, a gate appeared. One of these gates, you know, a proper gate for pedestrians to go through. And I went through it, where's this going now? And then all of a sudden, there was the road by the houses. And I thought, thank God. I was damp almost up to my knees. I had blood in the back of my hand with these bramble things. What a state I was in. And the reason I'm mentioning this now is because there's a lesson here. I talked a wee bit during the video about maps. I use Ordnance Survey's Land Ranger map. And I think the lesson is that if you see a footpath on your map, it doesn't mean that you can follow that path. I've seen it before. I was in the Fife area many years ago, and again, there was a footpath on my map, but I couldn't get through it because it was overgrown. And you sort of wonder, who's responsible for maintaining footpaths? Is anyone responsible? Does it matter? I mean, obviously, if you've got a footpath in an urban area, probably the council are going to sort that out. But if you've got a footpath in the middle of nowhere, it's unrealistic for somebody to be going up cutting the grass and trimming the brambles every 2 weeks. That's just not practical. So is it anybody's responsibility, or do we just let nature take its course? So before I witter on too much, I just want you to take this lesson away with you, in that if you see a footpath on your map, it doesn't mean that you can follow that, and just be very aware of that, because as I say, I got myself into real difficulties, and thankfully you didn't see me at that stage. But here's the video. Hello there. Well, once again I'm in the absolutely magnificent railway station at Wemyss Bay, but we're not getting a ferry today. I'm walking from here to Greenock via Leap Moor, Loch Thom or Loch Thom, not sure how you pronounce it. There'll be any number of people telling me, I'm sure. And Corlick Hill. I mean, I was up Corlick Hill just a couple of videos ago, but it was freezing and misty. I couldn't see anything. I mean, I really enjoyed that video. It was just very atmospheric, but there was no views whatsoever. So I'm hoping we'll get some good views from the top of Corlick Hill. It's only about 303 metres high, but this is a kind of long way to get there. It's about 11 miles or so, almost double kind of walks the distance that I've been doing of late. But you know, you need something to blow away all the kind of cobwebs that have gathered over the festive period, and I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to get a pie out of McCaskey's, the butchers. So all those who are kind of constantly fretting about whether I've got a pie or not, I'm going to get a pie, all right? And I'm also going to get some potato scones. Many videos ago, somebody made a comment recommending McCaskey's potato scones. So I'll get them as well and have them for my breakfast with some bacon and tomatoes tomorrow. So thanks for making that recommendation. although as to how good they are remains to be seen. So without further ado, we've got a long day ahead of us. I expect to be back in Greenock between 3 and 4, hopefully nearer 3 than 4 because it'll be getting dark around about 4. Let's go. There's been an awful lot of rain in the last couple of days, and there was a sign just at the very entrance to the path saying that no entry. Big red circle with a white band, path closed, dangerous or whatever. And I decided to follow it just for a wee bit to see how things looked. You've always got the option of turning back. I would advise anyone who sees such a sign to obey it and just forget about it. I'm maybe just a little bit more experienced. I'm not sure, but I can generally see what's going on. There is evidence. I mean, we're in a deep gorge here with occasionally steep sides. There is evidence of landslip, and there are fallen trees almost totally blocking the path. So these two reasons alone are reason enough to just turn back and forget about it. But I did meet some people walking towards me who are out walking their dog, and I asked them how it was, and they said fallen trees, etc. Very slippy. So I've decided to go for this. There is still the option of turning back, and it is very slippy. You've just got to be careful. You're taking a chance. If land wants to slip while you're walking on it, and trees want to fall while you're underneath them, then it's game over. You're taking a bit of a risk. It's as simple as that, really. I think I wanted to say a couple of words about my map. If you've been watching many of these videos, you know that I use Ordnance Survey Land Ranger map, the paper version. And I like the paper version because it doesn't have batteries which can run out, and it doesn't need a mobile phone signal. But my last one, it's number 63, Clyde Coast or whatever it's called. My last one had been used that much, it's fallen to bits. I needed a new map. And I think the advice I want to give, brief advice at this stage, is that when you buy a new map, it's already out of date. If I look at the date on this, I think it says revised May 2014. So the map will have lain in a shop for a while. It'll have been taking a while to get printed. It'll be a while since the land was actually surveyed to see what new additions or alterations were required. So This is already, although it's new to me, it's maybe almost 10 years out of date. And that can be important. It's not something to worry about, but it's something to be aware of. Probably more so when you're in woodland or in forest areas, or even kind of moorland that used to be forest, where you're maybe following a track and you're looking at your map and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to take this left branch when it comes up. Now what can happen is new tracks can be created, and you could end up following a more recent track that's not the one you thought, and you end up getting lost basically. It's all about just being aware of what's on your map and where you are on the ground, and knowing what you should be coming up to. You might think to yourself, oh, I should be coming up to a fork in a path. What sort of distance is that? It's maybe going to take me 10 minutes. So if you come to a fork in a path in a couple of minutes time, you think, wait a minute, that's a bit too soon. Is that the same track? So it's just something to be aware of. That's all I'm saying here. So let's go. It's kind of uphill through this gorge, and then we'll leave the gorge and head through a path through Leap Moor. MOOR. Big open moorland space. This is exactly what I've come here for. Sometimes after the festive period you feel like you just want to sort of lose yourself for a while. And the trick is to lose yourself without getting lost. But this is just, you know, there's definitely something very therapeutic about big wide open spaces and nobody around. It's just, I can't see anybody. The only people I saw were the dog walkers back in the gorge, but here there's no one. And I can breathe. It's beautiful. Well, the visitor centre behind me is open. It's nice to have a proper toilet. The track through Leap Moor was just very wet, it was pretty horrendous in places. While I was on it, I suddenly remembered that I'd been on it before many years ago. I just suddenly remembered it being just as wet back then. I don't want to hang about here. Time is of the essence. 12:20. I've quickly demolished this steak and onion bridie out of my caskets. They just had pre-packaged things, but they make them themselves. It's their steak and onion bridie, and I'm sure it'll be very good. I'll have that in a second. We'll have a wee bit, just a wee chat first. So if you've been watching these videos over time, you'll know that occasionally I talk about my age. I think I remember sitting just beside in a doorway of Blackness Castle by the Firth of Forth, saying I was such and such an age. I can't remember what age I was then. 64 maybe, 65, can't remember. And I think as you get older, your body starts to kind of show its age. You start to get aches and pains and things. I've had a bit of a back issue for a while, probably a good few months ago. I had a really sore back. I don't know what happened. And nothing really happened. It just suddenly became sore. And for about 2 nights when I was lying in bed, to change from one position to another, it was absolute agony. But it sorted itself out. You know, you try to make an appointment to see the doctor, the receptionist just gives you a form, because they know that in most cases it'll just sort itself out, which it did. But I think occasionally I notice that it's a little bit sort of stiff, you know, and I can feel that occasionally it's on the verge of going again. And I think when you have a kind of slightly iffy back, it can make some things difficult. I hadn't cut my toenails for a while because it was difficult getting down there. You think that my toes, that's a long way down there. I'm not sure if I could reach that. You know, I mean, what sort of state are you in when you can't reach your toes, you know? Yeah, I could do it, you know. I cut my toenails the other day, but maybe as time goes on, I'll maybe start to make use of my neighbours. Maybe chat their door. Hello there. I live just beside you, just the flat next door. Yeah. We've hardly seen each other. Yeah, it's been years, you know. But I've got a pair of scissors, and I just wondered if you could cut my toenails. Not sure how that would work, but there are other issues with kind of an iffy back. When you're sat in the toilet, for example, on the bowl, sometimes when you're having to twist and turn to wipe your backside, you think, oh, this is not good. I can feel my back starting to go again. And I'm thinking, you know, well, maybe as time goes by, I could maybe have a word with the neighbours again, you know. Chap. Hello there, it's me again. You remember? I'm just next door. That's it. Yeah, it's me. Yeah. No, I don't have scissors with me. No. But I do have toilet paper. Again, I'm not entirely sure how that'll work. I could maybe start to make use of facilities in the Partick area of Glasgow, shops and libraries. Maybe even pop into Partick police station. And there'll be a big sergeant behind the desk, big portly sergeant. Hello, what can we do for you? Well, I've got this toilet paper, and I just wondered, probably wouldn't work. Probably get arrested or something. Anyway, I'm going to eat this off camera because I'm going to I might actually scoff it on the hoof just to save a bit of time. That's your chat. Incidentally, McCaskies, I think I misremembered that old comment about McCaskies and potato scones, because they're actually McGee's potato scones. McCaskies don't make their own potato scones. But McGee's ones, and they look like big, thick potato scones. I'll have them with the breakfast. I'll have them with the bacon and tomato for breakfast tomorrow. You don't really want these thin, piddly potato scones. Your nice thick ones is what you want, you know. So looking forward to that. Let's just go. Well, that's Corlick Hill just there, and you can see the wind turbines that were occasionally materialising out of the mist the last time I was up there. I think I prefer them in the mist, to be honest, but at least today they're not going to be chucking ice about the place, as was the case back then. So this track here is between Gryfe Reservoirs. I'm starting to feel it now, if I'm honest. I'm starting to feel quite tired. 1, 2, 3. I'll probably get about 3.5 miles to go, you know. There's a bit of a hill. May take me 2 hours. It's 2 o'clock, so that's 4 o'clock. It's okay. When I was coming through the track through the woods there was cows in the wood. I don't think, in my whole life, I don't think I've ever seen cows in a wood. I initially wasn't sure what they were. I just saw these big shapes. They were black and white cows. Not black and white mottled, but black with a white bit in the middle. Somebody will know exactly what cows these were, a particular breed. But then I thought, oh my God, they're cows. And they had calves. So it could have been a slightly iffy situation, because, I mean, they were okay, you know, they weren't too excited. Some cows can get very excitable and be jumping about the place and become a real danger to you when they've got calves. But they were reasonably calm about it, but they'd also been protective and gently kind of herding their young ones away from me. You know, so it was okay, but I was a little bit scared. Cows with calves frighten me a little bit. All it takes one to throw a maddie and have a go at you, and you're in trouble. Anyway, let's get to the top of this hill. I mean, I think I'm already at a certain height. I suspect I'm probably somewhere between about 150 and 200 metres above sea level just now, so there's not really that much height involved to get up there to the 303 metres. Let's stop waffling, the light's starting to go. let's go. This is the top of Corlick Hill. I made it. But only just. I had to backtrack down there. I mean, obviously from a great distance you can see this hill. You know where you're meant to be heading for. But, you know, down there you find yourself following little kind of round waymarker signs saying Corlick Hill, and they just suddenly stopped. I ended up going, the path just stopped, and I thought, here we go, it's one of these situations, the path has stopped. I had to backtrack, try and figure it out for myself. As I say, I could see the hill, but trying to get to it was a different story because there's all sorts of difficult bits of land in the way. But I'm here, and my goodness, the views are out of this world. 3:05, so I should be down in Greenock just at the back of 4, a wee bit later than I'd planned. Really good views of the River Clyde and the Firth of Clyde and the sort of mountains way up to the north there. It's pretty stunning stuff. But I think I'll just end the video there. I don't think you'll get a second ending on this occasion. Even in the absence of mist, I find the wind turbines a little bit scary. They're just so huge, you know. Anyway, until the next time, I'm Eddie Burns. Take care and I'll see you again.